Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the respiratory system of the prawn. In last class, we discussed about digestive system of prawn and nutrition and physiology of digestion and absorption phenomena. Yes, let us discuss about the subsequent topic respiratory system of the prawn. The respiratory system meant for what purpose? It meant for ventilation and respiration, cellular respiration. What is ventilation? The exchange of respiratory gases from environment. So after that, the respiratory gases, after exchange the respiratory gases, the oxygen delivered to cell. There in the cell, the digested food material undergoes oxidation and yields energy. That phenomena is called cellular respiration. These are a sequential event that found in the phenomena of respiration. The uh, respiration is a property of every living thing. So, in prawn, for that purpose, well developed respiratory system is present, isn't it? Let us see the organization of respiratory system of the prawn. The prawns are aquatic animals, so they perform branchial respiration. For that purpose, they include primary and accessory respiratory organs. Different organs are serves respiration in them. The primary respiratory organs are present and as well as additional respiratory organs, accessory respiratory organs also associated with the respiratory system of prawn. Okay, right. Let us see the respiratory organs in prawn. So, if we observe respiratory organs in prawn, they are mainly categorized two kinds. Primary respiratory organs, they meant for respiration, they exclusively involves in respiration process, they won't perform other functions. Such kind of respiratory organs consider as primary respiratory organs. Followed? Right. Next, another variant is accessory respiratory organs. They are also called secondary respiratory organs. Accessory means they are additional. They serve dual function. Their primary function is different, but they partly involved in respiration. Followed? They partly involved in respiration. That's why they consider as accessory respiratory organs. The accessory respiratory organs are also present in the prawn. The primary respiratory organs are gills and the accessory respiratory organs are lining of branchiostegitis and second one epipodites. Remember, so all these are serves respiration. The primary respiratory organs are gills and accessory respiratory organs are lining of branchiostegitis and epipodites. Followed? Right. Let us verify each and every respiratory organ, organization and function. The respiratory organs in prawns are lining of branchiostegitis, epipodites, they are 3 pairs, and gills, 8 pairs. All these together serves respiration. Followed? Right. Let us observe the organization of all these organs. The lining of branchiostegitis, it is an accessory respiratory organ. It is also called gill cover, remember. It is a thin vascularized membrane that present beneath the carapace. Carapace is a shield. It is a chitinous shield that covers the cephalothorax region. Already we learned in earlier classes. So beneath the carapace, one thin membrane is present. Such membrane is not a ordinary membrane, it is a vascularized membrane. Vascularized means occupied with blood blood vessels, okay, blood filled lacunae. So that vascularized membrane is present beneath the carapace. You verify the visual representation, that is prawn, and the cephalothorax region is covered by dome shaped chitinous plate, that is carapace. So beneath the carapace, if we open that carapace, underneath the carapace we found a thin layer vascularized membrane that is considered as the lining of bronchiostegitis. Okay, clear? So whenever the water enter in gill chamber beneath the carapace region, automatically the vascularized membrane to be exchange the respiratory gases. In that way, they lead respiration. They serves respiration. So that is the function of lining of bronchiostegitis. Okay. With this, we completed. Yes. Let's see another variant of accessory respiratory organs. So lining of bronchiostegitis we completed. So through the lining of bronchiostegitis, the respiratory gases to be exchanged from water current. So next, the subsequent accessory respiratory organs in prawn are epipodites. Remember, listen here, the epipodites, three pairs of epipodites present in the prawn. You observe epi means above, podite means legs. So they are accessory respiratory organs associated with the legs. That's why they named as what? Epipodites. Epipodites. So, podomere. What is mean podomere? It is a joint of legs. Already we learned appendages of the prawn. They categorized as head appendages and thorax appendages and abdominal appendages. Totally 19 pairs of appendages present in the prawn. In detail we learned in earlier classes. So the epipodites are associated with the podomeres of that appendages. So that's why they named as epipodites. These are integumentary extensions of the thoracic appendages. Remember, these are integumentary extensions of thoracic appendages. So you verify this is a prawn. Already we finished all these things. So the head bears head appendages. They called cephalic appendages. 5 pairs of cephalic appendages are there. First one is antennule, then antenna and maxillae. Next mandible and maxilla and maxillae. 5 pairs of appendages are cephalic appendages are there. Then thoracic appendages. Thoracic appendages are 8 pairs are there. The first 3 pairs are maxillary pairs and next subsequent 5 pairs are walking legs. Followed. Right. Next, the subsequent abdomen contain abdominal appendages. You observe 6 pairs of abdominal appendages are present. The epipodites are associated with maxillipeds. 3 pairs of maxillipeds are present. You verify in the circle, 6th one, 7th one, 8th one. 6, 7, 8th appendages are maxillipeds. They belongs to thoracic region. They called thoracic appendages. They bear podomeres. Podomeres are nothing but joints of appendages. So they associated with coxa. Coxa is a first joint of appendage, and whatever integument, whatever chitinous layer, uppermost layer present on the surface of coxa, that gave rise elevation, extension, that filled with blood lacunae and facilitate exchange of respiratory gases. So such structures are referred as epipodites. Yes. Followed? Yes, listen here. The epipodites are present at the base of maxillipeds. They are associated with maxillipeds 6th, 7th, 8th. Remember, 6th, 7th, 8th appendages are thoracic appendages. They are considered as maxillipeds. So, you observe this is the 6th maxilliped, first maxilliped, 6th appendage, first maxilliped. And you observe the bilobed epipodite, that is epipodite extension, elevation. Bilobed epipodite is present. You have to observe circle. Inside the circle I marked the bilobed epipodite. Next, second one, it is second maxilliped, nothing but 7th appendage it is. So at the base of the coxa you verify that is epipodite. And next, this is third maxilliped. You observe the base of the maxilliped, that is coxa, and that base epipodite. All these epipodites are elevations, integumentary extension filled with blood, contain blood lacunae, so they capable to exchange respiratory gases from the water, and by which they assist respiration. Their primary function is different. Their primary function is capture the food material, hold the food material, but they additionally they serve respiration, hence they termed as accessory respiratory organs. Followed? So we've completed about accessory respiratory organs, bronchiostigitis, and another one epipodites. Okay, clear? So next, we'll discuss the major respiratory organs of the prawn. They are primary respiratory organs. They are gills. Yes. So these are the primary respiratory organs. They accommodated in gill chamber. They present in gill chamber. You observe the prawn, and beneath the cephalothorax plate, carapace plate, gill chamber retained. Inside the circle, through the transparent carapace, clearly gills are visible. So that is gill chamber, in which gills are accommodated. After removing the carapace, the gills are appeared like this. So these are the gills, right? So 8 pairs of gills present in prawn. They also named as branchiae. Remember this name? The gills of prawn also called as branchiae. Followed. 2 gill chambers present in the prawn either side to thoracic region. So the head and thorax fuses and forms cephalothorax. In the thoracic region, in thoracic segment region, one on either side, prominent gill chambers are present. In them the gills to be accommodated, right? Next, the gill chamber bounded by 2 coverings. 2 layers envelop the gill chamber. So the internal layer is epimeron layer, that is associated with wall of thorax, that is associated with surface of thoracic segment, that is epimeron layer. Next, the uppermost layer, that is external envelope, that is nothing but bronchiostigitis, that present beneath the carapace shield. Followed. So in between branchiostigite and epimeron layer, the chamber is nothing but gill chamber, in which the gills accommodated. So into the gill chamber the water current drives, from that the gills exchange respiratory gases. Followed? So that is bronchiostigitis. So next, the surface of thorax covered by epimeron. Between these 2 layer gill chambers are there. So that gill chamber accommodates gills, and the gill chamber opens in front and as well as ventral side and posterior side. So that's why they easily receives water current. Followed? Right. Next, about gills of the prawn. According to location, the gills of the prawn categorized three types. According to the attachment of the gill, the gills are categorized various types. The gills of the prawn categorized as mainly three kinds. Already we learned totally 8 pairs of gills are there. They categorized as podobranch and next orthobranch and then plurobranch. So three variants of gills are present in prawn according to their attachment. Remember podobranch, orthobranch, plurobranch. The podobranchs are one pair and orthobranchs are two pairs and plurobranchs are 5 pairs. Follow? Totally altogether 8 pairs of gills are present. Clear? So according to their attachment, these are different variants. Let us discuss in detail about each and every gill. Among 8 pairs of gills, only 7 are visible from outside because one gill is overlapped by another one. That's why from externally only 7 are visible. Remember, right? Next, the second orthobranch. Remember, the orthobranch, 2 pairs are there. The second orthobranch is smaller and it is overlapped by first orthobranch. That's why only 7 are visible from outside. Right. So you verify this is prawn and all these are appendages. So next, these are gills of the prawn. Right. Let us see all the variants of the gills that present in gill chamber. So this is first variant podobranch and next the second variant orthobranch and third variant plurobranchs. Followed? So three variants of gills are present in gill chamber. Yes, let us discuss about in detail about podobranch. Podo means podomere. There is a joint of appendage. The podobranch. Branch means gill. So podobranch, nothing but the gills whatever attaches with coxa of second maxilliped. 3 maxillipedes are there. Among them, with the second maxilliped, they are associated. So the gills that attaches with coxa of second maxilliped called podobranch. Followed? So what are podobranch? The podobranchs are nothing but the gills are attaches with coxa joint. Coxa of second maxilliped. Maxilliped is a thoracic appendage. Second maxilliped is a seventh appendage. So you verify the thoracic appendages and at the base of coxa the podobranch attaches. You verify in the visual representation whatever presents inside the circle. So that is podobranch. Leaf like in appearance, you verify. So that is podobranch attaches with coxa of second maxilliped. One pair podobranchs present one on each second maxilliped. These are commonly called foot gills because they are attaches with base of leg. Hence they called as foot gills. Right. Orthobranch. What is ortho? Ortho means orthoradial membrane. So the segments of the thorax and other parts joined with each other, covered with each other by means of hard chitinous sclerites. The sclerites are articulated together by means of a flexible layer that is called arthrodial membrane. So with arthrodial membrane, these gills are attached. So that's why they called orthobranch. So the orthobranch also named as joint gills. Followed, joint gills attaches with arthrodial membrane, and two pairs of orthobranchs present in prawn. Followed, and next that is first orthobranch, and this is second orthobranch. Attaches with the second maxilliped, first orthobranch and second orthobranch. The first orthobranch, sorry, the orthobranchs are associated with the third maxilliped. So first orthobranch and second orthobranch size you have to verify. First orthobranch is larger in size. Inside the circle you verify. This is first orthobranch. That is second orthobranch. The size of the orthobranch you verify. First one larger in size, and the second orthobranch you verify it is smaller in size. And second orthobranch smaller in size and overlapped by first one. That's why 7 are visible to us. Alright. So with this we completed second variant of gills, and now we are going to discuss third variant of gills. They are pleurobranch. Pleuro means it is a flexible layer that joins the sclerites with each other at a lateral side. It is also like arthrodial membrane but remain at a lateral side. Lateral sclerites, pleurons. So the gills that are attached with pleura of thoracic segments and that articulated with walking legs called pleurobranch. So they are completely attached with pleura sclerite of the thoracic segments, and they are articulated with walking legs. So 5 pairs of walking legs are present. So they also called chelate legs attaches with thorax region. You verify clearly at thoracic region 5 pairs of walking legs are there. So these are walking legs, and the pleurobranchs are attaches with the pleura of walking legs. You verify the circle. Inside the circle the pleurobranchs are present. Totally 5 pairs of pleurobranchs are there. They are also called side gills. 5 pairs of pleurobranchs are there. This is first pair, one on either side, and second pair, third one, fourth one, and fifth one. So 1 to 5, only one side, another side same fashion. Okay, so 5 pairs of pleurobranchs are present. If we observe the size of the pleurobranchs, the pleurobranch shape first, you observe crescent like in shape. They are semilunar shape, crescent like in shape, and gradually the pleurobranch size increases from first to last. The dorsal surface of gill exposure into gill chamber, and the ventral surface of gill attaches with the thoracic segments by gill root. Follow? So you have verified that is gill root. So with the help of that gill root, it attaches with thoracic segments, and through the gill root they receives the blood vessels, nerves, and all the blood vessel nerves enter and exits through the gill root. Right. Next, Let us see structure of gill. The size of gill gradually rises towards posterior end. The first gill is smaller in size and the last gill gradually the last gill size you verify completely larger. So first gill, second and third verify, third fluorobank and fourth fluorobank and fifth fluorobank. Gradually their size going to increase. The last one is completely larger in size. And if you verify their structure, they are phyllobanks. Phyllo means leaf, branks means plates. So if we observe the structure of gill, the axis of gill base, two rows of leaf-like gill plates. You verify along the middle line of the gill, prominent axis is present. Either side of axis, lamella-like, plate-like structures are there, one on either side, like leaves. So leaf-like gill plates are there. You verify this is a microscopic view. At along the middle line, axis is present. Either side to it, gill plates are there. They arranged either side to axis in two rows like a leaf. Hence, such gills termed as phyllobanks. So, these are phyllobanks. The gill plates are arranged as pages of book along the gill axis as perpendicular. So, you observe axis, either side to axis, gill plates are there. Numerous gill plates are arranged like a pages in book. You verify the attachment of the gill plate with the axis. It is completely right angle to each other, perpendicular fashion. Follow? So the middle gill plates are larger and gradually the size reduces towards terminal. So you verify the middle plates or gill plates are very larger in size towards anterior towards a terminal end. You verify gradually the size reduces, they are smaller in size. If we observe the gill plates are externally lined with cuticle layer, thin cuticle layer, and internally it consists a single layer of cells. The cells are two variants of cells are there. So you verify the side vision. So side visual clearly the book page like gill plates are there. The uppermost layer is thin cuticle layer. The innermost layer is completely lined with epithelial cells. The single row of cells include alternately pigmented cells and transparent cells. Transparent cells also called clear cells. So the cells of gill plate are pigmented cells and transparent cells. So the gill plate internally it is a hollow plate filled with blood lacunae. Alright. So the gill base formed with connective tissue that embedded with blood channels. You verify that is gill base. So through the gill base, blood vessels and nerves enter and exit. They contain blood vessels and nerves. They are embedded in connective tissue. Alert. Right. Next, blood supply to gill plate. The gill plates receives blood through blood channels. Verify it. So blood channels are nothing but they are blood filled tubes. They are in them blood circulates, but such tubes without walls. If we observe higher animals, arteries, veins are there, but the arteries, veins are with prominent walls. But here in prawn, blood channels are present. They are blood filled tubes but without walls. So in them the blood circulate, in that channel blood to be circulate. So the gill plates receives blood through the blood channels. These are the gill plates. You verify visual representation and the microscopic view of the gill plates which receiving blood channels. Follow, these blood channels are organized in gill plates in this fashion. You verify the organization of the blood channels, tubular structures without walls. Followed. So these are the blood channels. Let us see the very different variants of blood channels. Three longitudinal blood channels run along the gill base. They are lateral longitudinal blood channels, one pair, and next median longitudinal channel, single. Alright, so three longitudinal blood channels run along the gill base. They are lateral longitudinal channel, they are one pair, and median longitudinal channel, that is single. All these are run along the gill base. You verify at the base of gill base, so that contain prominent longitudinal channels. So you verified blue color arrow, that is the lateral longitudinal channel arranged as vertical fashion, one pair present, one on either side. And next one, median longitudinal channel located along middle line, only single median longitudinal channel is present. You remember, lateral longitudinal channels are distributing channels. They distribute the blood to the gill plates, and the median longitudinal channel is collecting channel that collects blood from the gill plate. Follow? Right. The left and right lateral longitudinal channels interconnected again with the transverse connectives and attain ladder like appearance. Follow? You verify the visual representation. The left side lateral longitudinal channel and right side lateral longitudinal channel, both are joined with each other by mean of transverse channels. They called as transverse connectives. By connecting with them, they attained ladder-like appearance. Follow? And next, the lateral longitudinal channel receives blood through afferent branchial channel. So the afferent branchial channel associated with it, you verified. This is afferent branchial channel. So it merged with lateral longitudinal channel, and these lateral longitudinal channels receives blood through the afferent branchial channel. Followed? Yes. Next, both lateral longitudinal channels and median longitudinal channels enter into gill plate. You verify. And after that, finally, the left and right lateral longitudinal channels ultimately joins with median longitudinal channel by mean of marginal channel along the lateral margin of the gill plate. You verify one more tube is present, that is marginal channel. That marginal channel going to fuse with what? Lateral longitudinal channel with median longitudinal channel. Follow? So marginal channels are joins the lateral longitudinal channels with median longitudinal channel. Followed? Right. Next, the blood from median longitudinal channel run out from gill plate through efferent branchial channel. So you verify the arrow mark, that is base of arrow mark, that is median longitudinal channel. It is a receiving channel. It receives oxygenated blood. Collecting channel it is. Through the efferent branchial channel, such blood pumped out. This is efferent branchial channel. Okay. So lateral longitudinal, remember, lateral longitudinal channels are connected with the afferent branchial channel, and median longitudinal channels are associated with efferent branchial channels. Follow? Right. Now let us see the core of circulation in gill. Mechanism of blood circulation in gill. So this is gill and all these are gill plates. Inside the gill plates, well organized channels are there. So the lateral longitudinal channels are distributing channels. They supplies blood to the gills. They supplies deoxygenated blood to the gills through the afferent branchial channel. The medial longitudinal channel collects the oxygenated blood from the gills, so they pumps such oxygenated blood through efferent branchial channel. Yes, so let us see the first deoxygenated blood enter into gill through afferent branchial channel and it passes into lateral longitudinal channels. Yes, you observe these are lateral longitudinal channels. And next, you observe this is deoxygenated blood. First enter into afferent branchial channel. It is earmarked with arrow. You verify first the blood enter in that vessel. After that it enter into connectives. After that it enter into lateral longitudinal channels and from lateral longitudinal channels enter into transverse connectives and ultimately enter into gill plate, and in the gill plate they runs along the marginal channels and finally the blood emptied into median longitudinal channel. Whenever the blood runs along the gill plate, immediately they exchange the respiratory gases and become oxygenated. Such oxygenated blood from median longitudinal channel delivered into efferent branchial channel. Such oxygenated blood pumped to the pericardium. So that is part of circulatory system. So in that way, the deoxygenated blood enter into the gill plates, enter into the gills, and after purification, the oxygenated blood exit out. So this is core of circulation followed. So you have to verify the clear pathway of circulation in this visual representation. Clear? Yes. Next, you verify the mechanism of blood circulation with this visual representation. So now the deoxygenated blood going to enter into afferent branchial channel and then it moves into connectives, transverse connectives, then enter into lateral longitudinal channel and from lateral longitudinal channel enter into gill plate and then enter into marginal channel. After that receives oxygen and become oxygenated blood. Such oxygenated blood runs along the marginal channel and enter into median longitudinal channel. From median longitudinal channel it collected into efferent branchial channel. Through the efferent branchial channel it pumped into pericardium. Followed? Yes. Let us see the mechanism of respiration. The prawns shows branchial respiration. The respiratory gas is to be exchanged at gill plates by flowing the water current on surface of the gills. The gills are completely bathed in water. So you verify the movement of the legs and associated parts with it. The prominent plate is present, that is scaphognathite. So that is movement of legs and gills, they are gill plates. Let us verify the scaphognathite is a broad chitinous plate that associated with exopodite of maxillae. It is a third head appendage. You verify it in the diagram, that is scaphognathite. So it is associated with third head appendage, that is maxillae. So by movement of that scaphognathite, the water the water drives into the gill chamber, by which all gill plates are bathed underwater. So the water baths the surface of gill plates. You verify that visual representation by movement of the legs and scaphognathite. So next, then the water enter into gill chamber like that. Followed. So next, so during this time, the respiratory gases to be exchanged. The respiratory gases to be exchanged at gill plates by flowing the water current on surface of the gills. You verify all these are gill plates. So the oxygen from the water diffused across the membrane into blood of gill plate to in the carbon dioxide present in deoxygenated blood diffused out. So in that way the respiratory gases to be exchanged. Yes, this is a mechanism of respiration. With this we finished the respiratory system. In next session we are going to learn about circulatory system of the frog. Followed? Right.